Today is a very grand day. Today is the day I ride the BMW K1600 Grand America. Let's get into it. Hello, welcome to RevelatorAlf. I hope you're all well. So look, this is a monster. This is a bike that many people have been emailing me saying, go and ride this bike, the K1600B. This is the touring version of the bagger with a big box on the back. Hence why they call it the Grand America, because it's, well, touring-y type stuff. 6-speed, it's a monster. It is a monster. But let's see if it suits what I'm looking for. So as you know, I'm looking for a bike that can do some touring, that can be a good commuter, can be a good all-round bike on the big motorways, or on the back roads, or on the lanes, whatever. I'm looking for an all-rounder. I'm looking for potentially changing my bike, my sport glide, my Harley Davidson, either upstaging it or changing it for another model, whether it's a Harley, whether it's another brand. BMWs I like. This one has been recommended to me. I'm going to try it out and tell you what's what. So without further ado, I'm going to go for a little ride and tell you what I think. But just coming here, it's nice. It's very nice. Right, let's go on with it. So the K1600B, this is a Grand America version. What do I think? Is it suitable for me? In short, no. In short, no. But I'm going to tell you why, because it is a really interesting bike to ride and it's a fun bike to ride, but I think you got to ride it just the right way. I think this is a really good bike. It's a big bike, it's a long bike, but it's really stable up until about 60-70 miles an hour. Then you're kind of wondering what the hell's going on. Now these bikes here in the UK and in Europe, I'm not sure about the US, but here in the UK they are limited to 110 miles an hour. Why is that? Well, part of it they think it's aerodynamics, part of it they think it's these floorboards that are causing this unsteadiness above those kinds of speeds. Now when I rode the BMW 1250 RT, I said how amazing that was, a great bike, and this is very similar in how amazing it is, but in the road mode I think it was just too lackluster for the size of the bike, for the weight of the bike. I think this is 100 kilos heavier than the RT. It's just too lackluster. I had to put it in dynamic mode to get a bit of pep out of it. The windscreen here, which is like electric one, it just goes up. It's nowhere near as good as the RT for wind deflection, for weather protection. It's all right, but it's not that special. The boxes on here can't be removed. They're a permanent feature. So, you know, even for things like husbandry, like just like cleaning the bike or taking the rear wheel off or that kind of stuff, it's a pain, you know, it's a real pain in the arse. You can't take, on the Grand America, you can't take the top box off. That's not removable. Well, that you can, and there's a mod that you can do, but the problem is that the brake lights on the back here, on the bags, don't work, or there's no brake lighting on the bags when it's a Grand America. The brake light is only on the top box here. Now when it's just the bagger version, K1600B, the brake lights are in the bags there, so you can't take them off because the brake lights are integrated. So I'm not sure if I like that design or not, but for me it's just not practical enough. Okay, there's loads of other things. I'm a first impression kind of rider, and the first impressions of this: silky smooth gear changing, quick shifter, really nice, especially when you're pinging the throttle. Quick shifter going up is really smooth, silky smooth. In fact, they're smoother than the RT, I found. Coming down in the gears, even with the throttle off, it's a bit snappy coming down, but still, braking is nice. And also the way it leans into the bends, it really rolls nice. Remember that the Harley Davidson, the Lowrider ST, I was talking about that and said the roll rate going into the bends, it's a bit slow, it's a bit sluggish, it's a bit stiff, whereas this, it isn't. This is a bigger, heavier bike. I think it's got even a longer wheelbase, definitely, but it just rolls into the bends. So the suspension wise and the way it's geared up, rake and trail, seems to be brilliant. Now, as I say, I'm only making this video because I want it as a reference for me for the future. Is this kind of bike that would suit my kind of riding? Would it suit the kind of touring, commuting, you know, going in through traffic, that kind of thing? It's a big bike, right? So you know, I think you're going to struggle with high density traffic filtering, that kind of thing, but you know, it'll be workable. What I really like are these bars. I love these bars. I love the screen, just like on the RT. I love that. The way it rides, really nice. As I say, as soon as you get into dynamic mode, it's got a bit more pep, and that rider mode, the dynamic, matches the weight of the bike. So for me, there's only one mode that you can ride it in. It's comfortable, the riding position is nice. All I would say is that the front suspension, whilst it's got that BMW Telelever front suspension, it does, you do feel a lot of the bumps on the road, whereas the RT a lot smoother in that point of view. You know, it was a lot more comfortable. This, you really do feel it. I mean, just looking at the bike, I really like the look of it. I love the look of it, from the front, from the side, going up to the back. Even though the top box isn't really for me, but I will definitely think about it, especially if I'm getting my my missus on the back. If she wants to be nice and comfortable on the back, yeah, definitely. Lots of storage space, great. Bags, open, yeah, nice. Not as big as I thought they'd be, actually. Yeah, let's see if I can put my helmet in there. Yeah, it fits. I'm not sure about a big full-size helmet. Maybe it'll fit, maybe it won't. I think the problem with this bike for me is that the boxes and the top box isn't removable. I think the way the bike rides is great, even though it's limited to 110 miles an hour. Let's face it, how often are you ever going to ride one of these bikes at that sort of speed? So whilst it does bug me that it is limited to 110 miles an hour, in the reality, it doesn't really bother me at all. It doesn't really matter to the way I would be riding. I'm never going to ride that fast. But even at above 70 miles an hour, it did feel a little bit wayward on the dual carriageway, on the sort of the highway riding there. So I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's an aerodynamics thing. I don't know if it's a weight distribution thing. I don't know if it was because I had the windshield up. I don't know if it's the floorboards. I don't know, but it does feel a little bit not too great. And that's where all the reports have come from, and that's why they had to limit the speed to 110 miles an hour. But then again, you do ping it, and it does go, and it's not moving, but it does seem to have that sort of vagueness, but it's still planted on the road. It's a weird feeling. Okay, if they let me, if the nice people from BMW let me, I would take the other 1600 out, which is the GTL, and it's got the boxes, different style boxes, and it's got a top box as well, and it's all removable. It's all removable. Slightly different layout, but essentially it's the same bike, it's the same engine, but it doesn't have the forward boards, the floorboards, so it doesn't have that speed limitation on it either. So actually, overall, the GTL would be a better bike for me, whereas, or the GTL would be a better bike, whereas this, I just don't think it suits me. I like the look of it. I think, yeah, I'm having a bit of that. But the way it rides and the practicality of those boxes, or the versatility of the bike, you know, to be able to change it up a little bit, no. But the GTL, or any bike, any tourer that you can take off the boxes and put them back on again, great. Any bike that you can ride it to its full potential, yeah. Now, there is another thing I've got to say. I have been doing some research, and I think the K1600B, whilst it is limited, I think you can get tuners for it that unlock that. I'm not 100% sure, so if you ride one of these, or if you know of these bikes in any way, shape or form, let us know in the comments below. But I'm pretty sure there are two certainly one, but maybe even two tuners or mappings or a bit of software or a plug-in thing that you can put on these bikes, and it unlocks it so you can get the full potential if you'd really want to. I mean, over here you'd either have to take it down a runway, you know, off-road, or you'd have to you know, you have to ride to Germany on the autobahn to get to up to those speeds legally, of course. But in terms of this, you know, all the rider modes and everything, it's very BMW. It's all the same as the RT, very intuitive. It's great. I mean, from a riding point of view, it's fine. It's absolutely, in fact, it's a lovely bike to ride. I did feel in that road mode, as I say, it, you know, it was a bit gutless, but as soon as I put in the dynamic, it seemed to match the bike. It seemed to match the weight of the bike. So all I would say is that the rain mode and the road mode, well, they're kind of pointless, really. For me, anyway, for me. What I will say, when I went on the motorway, I did put my feet on the floorboards, and it is a lovely riding position. You're kind of relaxed. But it's like riding a Harley Davidson with highway pegs. You got to be sure that you're never going to have to change gear or touch the controls in any way, shape or form. I think this has got dual link brakes anyway, so you could do everything on the you know, on your hand front brake. But so it's fine in that respect. So it is stable. It's a nice riding position. But actually, having your feet on the normal pegs is equally as comfortable as well. So overall riding comfort is great. I just don't think it's for me. That's the problem. I just don't think it suits my kind of riding. I'm glad I've tried it. I'm glad I can give myself that sort of feedback. I wanted to really like it. That's the thing. I wanted to really like this bike, but I think that versatility and maybe that vagueness at higher speeds, which I'm never really going to ride, I mean, let's face it, it kind of bugs me. That's the honest answer. I wouldn't say disappointing, but a little bit slightly let down, I would say. The bike is brilliant, don't get me wrong, the bike is brilliant, but again, it's about, is it suitable for me, and would it be suitable for you? Then obviously, as I always say, go and try them out. But if you like the look of it, it's a winner for me. I love the looks of it. I love those handlebars. In fact, actually, I was speaking to the guy. He said you can actually change those handlebars and put them on the GTL, the 1600 GTL. They've done it. They've actually done bar swaps. He said it's quite expensive to do, but you can do it. You basically take the top yoke off here, you take this plate off, and you just put it onto the GTL. But taking this top box off, it can't be done. Well, it can be done, but then you lose the braking. I'm sure some boffin out there has come up with a fix out there. So if you know of a fix of taking off the top box on a Grand America, on the K1600B Grand America, but you can still get braking lights working, let us know in the comments below. If you know of those tuners to unlock the bike, let us know as well. You know where you get those from, or what name they are. I'm sure there's one, there could be two. If you own this bike, if you own these bikes, or you've ridden them, let us know what you think about the way it rides at higher speeds. What about the versatility of it? You know, do you like the boxes that they can't be taken off, or are they a real pain that you can't really get in there to do some maintenance or even light maintenance? Personally, I think the K1600 GTL is going to be a better bike for me. That's it. You know, that's where the RT is fantastic. I love the way this rides, but I think the GTL will be a better option for me. Let us know your thoughts. Anyway, I'm going to take this down the road a little bit more, a few more country lanes. Why not? Why not? And see how it fares. But it's whilst it is a heavy bike, it is really light. It's nice to ride, and that's all I can say. Yeah, so just a quick add-on here, on the motorway, on the highway, with the screen down, it's a lot more stable for me. None of that vagueness about 70 miles an hour. In dynamic mode, that's the way to ride this, but it's really comfortable, really stable, and it's just beautiful, beautiful to ride, apart from all those things that I said. Anyway, catch you again.